China has spent more than $70 billion. 70 billion? That's more than the total GDP of some countries. They had a plan. A grand, meticulously crafted, government-backed plan to achieve what no one had managed to do for decades. Break the Boeing Airbus duopoly. Take to the skies. And for a moment, it seemed like it might actually work. But then something happened. Something that even aviation experts hadn't fully anticipated. Something that turned one of the most ambitious industrial projects in human history into a cautionary tale. This is the story. Here's what most people don't realize. When you fly anywhere, you're almost certainly sitting down. Boeing or Airbus. These two companies control roughly 90% of the global commercial aircraft market. Not 50%, not 70%, 90%. This isn't a duopoly, it's a stranglehold. And for China, a country that manufactures everything, exports everything, and dominates production in literally every category, it was humiliating. China buys more commercial aircraft than almost any other country in the world. Its aviation market is booming. Analysts predict that by 2040, China will need more than 8,000 new aircraft. That's trillions of dollars flowing directly into Seattle and Toulouse. And Beijing made a decision. We will build our own, not just for China, for the whole world. And if you enjoy videos that explain how the world really works, not just the headlines, but the actual mechanics behind them, subscribe right now, because this story goes much deeper than you might think. The year was 2008. China had just wowed the world with the Beijing Olympics. The economy is racing ahead at a pace unlike anything seen before or since. And the government has announced the establishment of COMAC, the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China, their flagship project, the C919. An aircraft designed to compete directly with the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320. The most popular segment in aviation, narrow-body, medium-range airliners, the workhorses of the world's airlines. The ambitions were enormous. China announced plans to sell thousands of aircraft, not only domestically, but worldwide. Asia, Africa, the Middle East, anywhere Boeing and Airbus haven't yet established a foothold. On paper, everything looked perfect. In reality, it's a completely different story. 2019, the trade war between the United States and China is escalating, and suddenly it all becomes clear the C919 is not a Chinese aircraft. It is an aircraft assembled in China using Western components. The avionics are American. The flight control systems are American and European. The hydraulics are German. Even some of the fuselage materials are Western. And at any moment, Washington could simply pull the plug. Export licenses, sanctions against airlines, restrictions on dual-use technology. Every time China thought it was entering the home stretch, a new obstacle. Let's say the engine issues have been resolved. Let's say the sanctions have been dealt with. Now, we need to convince airlines around the world to buy this aircraft, and that's where the real challenge begins. Any commercial aircraft flying to the United States or Europe must obtain FAA or EASA certification. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration and the European Aviation Safety Agency are not just a formality. These have been years of inspections, tests, and paperwork. The Boeing 737 MAX, an American aircraft that has been in production for decades, took nearly 2 years to regain FAA certification following 2 crashes. Imagine what lies ahead for the Chinese newcomer. The C919 has not yet received certification from either the FAA or EASA. Not the FIA, not EASA. This means that no Western airline is legally permitted to operate this aircraft on international routes. Not in Europe, not in America, not in most Asian countries. By the way, what do you think? Will China eventually overtake Boeing and Airbus? Or is that market already closed for good? Let us know in the comments. Seriously, there's a heated debate going on there right now. While China was grappling with these issues, the rest of the world didn't stand still. Boeing and Airbus have secured orders for years to come. As of 2023, Airbus's order backlog stands at more than 8,000 aircraft, while Boeing's is around 5,000. Both companies are fully booked through the end of the decade. By that time, the C919 had completed its first commercial flight only in 2023, 15 years after the program began, nearly 6 years behind the original schedule. 15 years, $70 billion. And the first flight within China, from Shanghai to Beijing. Not to London, not to New York, from Shanghai to Beijing, But here's what's really upsetting. Even within China, airlines are approaching the C919 with caution. Air China, China Eastern, and China Southern are flying it, but only because the government is asking them to, and because it's politically important. But when these same airlines choose aircraft for commercial routes with actual passenger loads, they order Boeing and Airbus. That says a lot. That's the real problem. China thought that aircraft manufacturing was just like making smartphones, or electric cars, or solar panels, copied the technology, scaled up production, undercut the competition on price, and won. But the aviation industry works differently. Boeing has been building airplanes for over a century. Airbus has been doing so for over 50 years. Over that time, they have accumulated more than just technology, they have built trust. Trust is an intangible asset that cannot be bought for $70 billion. When an airline chooses an aircraft, it considers more than just the price. It thinks about spare parts, about maintenance, about support anywhere in the world at 3 a.m. when the plane is grounded and losses are mounting by the minute. Boeing and Airbus are global ecosystems, thousands of certified technicians, spare parts, warehouses at every major hub on the planet, service centers from Dubai to Dhaka. The C919, so far, none of these have been delivered outside of China. And there's another factor that's rarely discussed: geopolitics. Airlines in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, they're not just looking at the aircraft, they're looking at the political climate. They think, if I buy 100 C919s and relations with China deteriorate tomorrow, what will happen to spare parts, to support, to software licenses? This isn't paranoia, it's business thinking. And while these questions hang in the air, most airlines prefer the familiar risk to the unfamiliar. But here's what's important to understand. China hasn't given up. COMAC is already working on the C929, a wide-body long-haul airliner designed to compete with the Boeing 787 and the Airbus A350. The program to develop the domestically produced CJ-1000A engine continues. The government is pouring in billions more, and things are starting to change. The global south, Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, is increasingly looking to China as an alternative to Western suppliers. Not out of love for Chinese technology, out of a desire to have a choice, out of weariness with the Western monopoly. Pakistan has already signed an agreement for the C919. Ethiopia is in negotiations. Several Asian airlines are exploring the possibility. This isn't a victory yet. It's not even close to what Beijing dreamed of in 2008. But it's the beginning of a different story. Maybe China will never overtake Boeing and Airbus the way they imagined. Or maybe in 20 years, we'll look back on these first awkward steps of the C919 the same way we now look at the early clumsy attempts of BYD, which now sells more electric cars than Tesla. China is still trying, and the next decade could change everything. If this video taught you something new, please give it a like. Seriously, it helps the channel more than you might think. And subscribe to the channel. It really motivates me to keep making videos. See you next time.